Welcome. I invite you first to come to your breath. Feel the sensation of your breath. Allow it to connect you to the present moment, to your body, your fingers, your toes, and then maybe your trunk, inside your heart. And what's here, what's right now, in contemplating how incredibly complicated things are and balancing out the causes and conditions to make wise choices. So my struggle right now with a wise choice is holding the economic situation in countries like Indonesia, the Philippines. I'm even going to put Sri Lanka in there, although I'm not as sure about the whatever the research is, the per person experience of what they live with. And comparing it to Taiwan, which is quite different. And with people that aren't from Asia tend to flatten Asia. And often it's like, oh, you poor Asians kind of thing. And having lived there, it's like, I don't know, everything I love and cherish in this life, it indirectly came from China or India, I believe. There's, so you see the big picture here, like, culturally, wisdom-wise, I think of nothing. There's this big picture of like so much of who I am, I owe to countries in Asia. I can, trace the lineage and of Chinese and in India in particular, and how it disseminated the information throughout Japan and Korea. And because of colonization, specifically, there's a different experience in many different countries in Asia. Taiwan was colonized by the Han Chinese. I don't know whether that's a disparaging term or not. I heard it originally from a friend of mine who was born and raised in Hong Kong. They are Han Chinese, and they live in Taiwan now in relative comfort compared to how they could live in Hong Kong. So, and I visited Taiwan quite a bit, and the sort of the cost of living for Taiwanese people is actually similar to Western Europe, and Australia and the United States. And so it's interesting to compare the two countries and to compare access to wealth. And then there's the bigger picture of everybody all over the entire world being affected by this war started by my country. So do I act by guilt and sort of like everybody should get a scholarship because we're so fucked up here in America, right? That's like Jacqueline. And it doesn't help anybody. Me disparaging my government, it could, what could that give me? A sense of like shared reality with a lot of people in the world. And if you're triggered by this YouTube video, I'd be glad to empathize probably with another video. And so, okay, so look at that. So you have all this. I'm just using Taiwan and Indonesia in Asia. There's a lot of different countries, and their economic experience, if you just look at that, is vastly different based on, in one small part of it is colonization, and a large part of it as well. So I want to hold everybody's needs as mattering. I want to hold, the regional rate in Indonesia with honoring how hard it is to come up with $3,000 in Indonesia. And how to honor that, and it being a different experience for people in different countries all over Asia, and then as different individuals all over Asia. So I don't want you all to get too caught up in the specific stories about how complicated things are. And then there's prejudice. And we don't even have to add that in there. Like privileged people with higher income coming in a group to another country. Like groups of Taiwanese that I saw in Palau with my friend who I talked about, that was embarrassed by the sense of privilege that these groups of people seem to have, and the lack of care for the local culture that these groups seem to have based on their economic prosperity and their lack of wisdom. So again, hold that complication. There's so much going on there. And everyone's needs matter. And not prioritizing like, oh, I've got to, I don't know, I'm trying to pretend like I'm some bleeding heart liberal, save the world white person. Because my belief is that showing up that way doesn't help anybody. Showing up in my full capacity to jackal my own experience, and like jackal my experience of other people, and connect it with my needs of, I want to hold everybody, every human, as all of their needs matter. So staying with that, with the complication, with the belief in some ways that money doesn't matter. It's just a strategy to meet needs. And how to balance out having something be sustainable. Have to balance out, how do we make it so that the people that have resources finance the admission for the people that don't. It's very difficult. And everybody's needs matter. And that's the curiosity, that's the bigness that I want to hold. And you notice I'm going back and forth between the individual here, people that I don't know very well, and people all over the world. So the subject of this is the world is complicated and all needs matter. And keep on coming back to and all needs matter is where I want to stay, as well as hold And historically and present day situations also matter, the facts of the case as you may look at it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your willingness to have a little bit of a different kind of meditation today.